everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thank you so much for joining me for another devotional. Today we're in John chapter 4. I'm going to read verses 25 through 26. This is going to close off some of this private interaction that Jesus has with this Samaritan woman. It's kind of a mic drop moment. It's pretty cool. Here's what happens. The woman says to him, "I know that the Messiah is coming, he who is called the Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all these things." And it's kind of laughable because he's already told her all these things. And Jesus said to her, "I who speak to you am he." Now, there are 8 times in the Gospel of John where Jesus uses the phrase, I am, or ego eimi in the Greek language. And he uses this to describe himself. And it's important because in the Old Testament, the declaration I am, or Yahweh in the Hebrew language, is the formal name for God. So what Jesus is doing here is he's making a connection and a declaration to this woman about who he is, that he is God, the Messiah, come in the flesh. Now, usually this expression, I am, ego eimi, is followed by a noun that gives it more description. And this noun is called a predicate nominative. For example, there are 7 other times in the Gospel of John where Jesus is going to say ego eimi, and he's going to follow it with a noun description of this ego eimi. So here they are. I am, ego eimi, the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the gate or the door to the sheep. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am, the most famous one, the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the vine or the true vine. But here in this text, and in one other instance in John, toward the end of the gospel, he uses the words ego eimi, and they stand alone with no predicate nominative. And this is significant because without one of these nouns following it, the verb becomes a title. It becomes one with the title that God actually gave Moses on Mount Sinai during the occasion of the burning bush before Moses delivered the people from Egypt. Here's how the text kind of reads. It says, then Moses was kind of having this dialogue with God. If I come to the people of Israel, and he's speaking to God, and I say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, then who shall I say has sent me to them? What is his name? And God says to them, say to them, I am who I am. In other words, I am the self-existing one. I'm the one who needs no description. I am God himself. Now, what makes this moment interesting here in this text is that there's only 2 times in the Gospel of John that Jesus uses the title I am, ego eimi, without a predicate nominative. One with this woman right here at the kind of beginning of his ministry, and then again in John chapter 18, verses 4 through 6. And I want you to listen to this occurrence here. I'm going to read it for you, and I want you to listen to the text and hear their physical reaction to this name, ego eimi. It reads, then Jesus, knowing all that would happen to him, came forward and said to them, and who he's speaking to right here is Judas and some soldiers who have come to arrest him. Jesus says, whom do you seek? They answered him, Jesus of Nazareth, which is his natural human title. But Jesus responds with his divine title. He says to them, I am he, ego eimi. And Judas, who betrayed him, was standing there with them. When Jesus said to them, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. How about that? Now, that's pretty significant because this is just to show us the power of the name and the title of God. Because, fellas, Jesus exists. He has made himself known to this world. And you can bow before him, receiving all those predicate nominatives, like his resources and his direction and his understanding and his protection and his life and his truth and his sustenance. Or you can come against him like these men do here at the end of the gospel in John 18 in disbelief and receive nothing. But note this, one day he's going to come again and he's going to speak his title to all the planet and all will bow. The choice we get today is this. We can either spend eternity in heaven with him and bow in fear and reverence, or spend eternity in hell because we refused to bow before the great name of our holy God. I love you guys. I pray this has blessed you today. If it has, share it with someone else. I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.